Hip hop has a serious problem right now. Torches never pass to the next generation. So my question is, who actually is the future of hip hop? Drake, J. Cole, and Kendrick Lamar are still running the game. They're running laps around these new artists, but that's not the problem. None of these guys are making good music. They have one hit or an album that does good, then they fall off. Rappers like Lil Baby or Polo G were supposed to take rap in a new direction, but didn't. They had hit songs but lost momentum. Recently, Spotify came out with an article with hip hop's newest leaders, and their list is whack. Lil Tecca, Sexy Red, and Central C ain't running nothing. Their list was generic as hell, just like the Freshman XXL list we see every year. Garbage rappers who won't be around 3 years later. Back then, the list was full of talent like Kendrick Lamar, Mac Miller, DaBaby. These lists are supposed to be the new wave for rappers, not a gimmick. So when I see Spotify's list, I'm really worried about hip hop. Ain't nobody going to be listening to Sexy Red 5 years from now. These artists are not the future of hip hop. I know some of you are thinking we lost a new big 3 years ago. Pop Smoke, Juice WRLD, and X. They were talented, but they wouldn't take over as leaders. Let me tell you why. Juice WRLD and X were a part of the SoundCloud era. Look what happened to everyone during that time. They all fell off bad. I could see some of them being a tier above Trippie or Ski Mask, but that's not saying a lot. With Pop Smoke, his sound was completely different. His death ended the New York drill sound. He would have been making hits, but to be honest, he would have just been one of those rappers that would have had a few solid albums, not longevity. They had their moments, but they didn't bring anything new to rap. Hip hop needs a reset button. Let me tell you how an artist can be a part of the big three. A contender for the big three needs to have a sound that appeals to everyone. Then they need to be accepted and improve themselves. That's why the current big three is still here. They all got all that early on. They all adapted and are still here while most are forgotten. Kendrick, Cole, and Drake all solidified themselves as artists before they blew up. They had that hunger to make it in the game. Once it took off, foot on the gas pedal. The talent is still there. Big cities like NYC, LA, Chicago, Miami shows us that. It's not harder now because all the subsets in the genre. An artist like Russ, who's from New Jersey, has his own lane, but is not really taken seriously by the rest of hip hop. He's got some music and a fan base by him, but not enough to be a big three contender. Or an artist like MF from Detroit. He's been doing his thing for a while. Once in a while I might listen to his music, but it's not on heavy rotation for me. They all got different sounds that don't appeal to the masses. With the TikTok era, it changes everything. Makes these songs sound forgettable. People only know the chorus or like 3 lines from the song. Most artists get their numbers inflated from these TikToks and make it look like their songs are doing good. But when it's time to go on tour, they can't even sell at a venue. Before it used to be about selling CDs, getting your buzz up, and then having a fan base. Consistency and quality is what an artist used to have. Now all they want is a TikTok hit to boost their numbers. But even if you have the sound, that doesn't mean you will last. Longevity is what you need. It separates a star from a legend. The current big three have been dominating for over a decade. Most artists can't stay hot for a year or two. Look at Chance the Rapper. He got popular in the 2010s after dropping a few mixtapes. He even won a Grammy for Best Rap Album. Later, he even collaborated with his idol Kanye West on Life of Pablo. On this album, he said, "I met Kanye. I'm never going to fail." Well, that aged badly. During that 2017-2018, Chance was at his peak. His debut album should have solidified himself as an artist who was here to stay, but it flopped bad. The Big Day is probably the worst debut album to release. Imagine getting all the accolades and the praise for your music, then you release some of the worst music of your life. He should have kept that in the vault, and now nobody really cares about what he releases. You had it all in it, and just like that, Chance is an example of what not to do after you make it. And the last one is important. It's cultural impact. The big three already solidified that with their music during the 2010s, with their lyrics, dominating streaming and chart dominance. Kendrick's Good Kid, Mad City been on the Billboard 200 for over 13 years, and that's not even his best project. While Drake is the most streamed artist of all time, and J. Cole has 6 consecutive #1 albums on the charts. Not a lot of new artists can do numbers like that. None of them, in my opinion, can move the culture forward. Some rappers have decent albums, but then fail on their second or third album. Some artists that could have been a part of the big three conversation was Lil Baby, Polo G, and Roddy Ricch. Lil Baby had that rap game in the chokehold from 2018 to 2021. Early hits like Drip Too Hard and Yes Indeed proved he had staying power. Being from Atlanta is his advantage. You get to work with the biggest artists in the game, like Young Thug and Gunna. Not only that, but the beats at the time were the hottest. Trap beats really the sound that took over. By 2020, Baby dropped a second album called My Turn. The album had too many heaters on there with songs like Whoa, Some to Prove, Emotionally Scarred, and The Bigger Picture. Baby was on fire during that time. He had the streets and the casual rap, fans listening to his music, all eyes on him with what the next move was. And by 2022, he released his third album, It's Only Me. I'm not gonna lie, the album was not it. He didn't evolve, sound got too repetitive, and he had the same flow. Everyone was getting tired of his music at this point. After that, he lost his momentum. It slowed down after years on the charts. Chicago's Polo G is another rapper who could have took over the rap game but didn't. With his album Die Legend, he showed that Chicago still had a young talent. He followed this up with his 2020 project, The GOAT. Songs like Heartless, 21, Go Stupid, and Wishing for a Hero showed us that he had party bangers, but also vulnerable tracks too. During this era, it looked like Polo G was unstoppable, with his albums and songs going platinum. He didn't stop though. His 2021 album, Hall of Fame, he consistently delivered on his albums, even outselling Amigos during their comeback. All of this made it look like Polo was on a new wave. Instead of feeding the fans with new music, he stopped releasing, and that's when the trolls came in heavy, clowning him for using the same piano beats and flows he even responded to on Twitter, causing more memes, and the wait made it worse. By 2024, his streak was over. Good Poet was a dud of an album. Critics and fans were not rocking with this album at all. It's like he stayed in his comfort zone during the album, releasing the song over and over again. Could have reinvented himself to become one of the greatest. Last but not least, Roddy Ricch. Coming out during the late 2010s, he released Tweet Street series that gained him attention. He was stacking up music before his big hit like Die Young, Roddy, Forever. By 2019, Roddy started working on his debut album, recording at least 250 songs during this time, only handpicking the best songs for his debut album. On December 2019, his debut album released. His biggest song on there was The Box. Just seeing these old videos of him performing that record brings back memories. Having one of the biggest songs of his career, he also collabed with DaBaby for another hit song. It's like he was everywhere in 2020. By late 2020, Roddy confirmed his second album was on the way. On 2021, he released his second album, selling less than his debut album. This one was a hit or miss. The fans are not feeling this one. It didn't have that big hit. It came and went. He wanted to prove to the fans he still had it, coming out with two back-to-back projects for the fans, trying to beat the fall-off allegations. Everyone was rocking with Beat the Streets 3, but after that tape, Roddy went radio silent. Now in 2026, he has not released the Navy album, delaying it more times than I can blink. Nobody knows when it'll come out, and just like that, he's out of the big three conversation. But maybe this album will change everything. We will have to see. Hip hop has seen plenty of big three since the beginning, but for now, Kendrick, Cole, and Drake are not going anywhere. I really want rappers to take this seriously. No more chasing TikTok hits, but good music. I fell in love with hip hop because of the emotions the music makes me feel. Now everything is watered down. It sounds the same. Hip hop needs a new big three to move the culture forward. It's not about who the next big three is, but why every potential rapper keeps failing. Let me know who you think will take over the rap game in the comments.